House of the Dragon is set 200 years before Game of Thrones and introduced a new family into the fold, House Velaryon. Leading the family was Corlys Velaryon, played by Steve Toussaint, better known as the Sea Snake for his love of seafaring and adventures on the high seas, who was married to the queen who never was Rhaenys Targaryen, Eve Best. Although the couple was close to the Iron Throne, they sought to get even closer to the crown by trying to marry off their daughter Lena, Nova Foalis Mose, to Viserys Targaryen, Paddy Considine, who was House Velaryon. According to a wiki of Ice and Fire, they were an ancient and proud family with the blood of old Valyria in its veins. The family had purple eyes and silver hair, some of the standard Valyrian features like the Targaryens. Their sigil, or coat of arms, was a silver seahorse against an aquamarine background, and their words are said to be, "The old, the true, the brave." The Velaryons followed the Targaryens across the narrow sea after Daenerys the Dreamer had a prophetic vision predicting the doom of Valyria 12 years before it happened. Daenerys' father Lord Daenar Targaryen took his whole family and moved to Dragonstone with the Velaryons following behind in their wake. How to watch Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon in the UK, US and abroad. Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is the first spin-off series from HBO set in George R.R. Martin's epic fantasy world of Westeros. The new TV show is set hundreds of years before the events of Game of Thrones and sets its sight on the Targaryen dynasty. Looking to watch House of the Dragon in the UK, US or abroad? Here's how you can watch it wherever you are. After fleeing from Valyria before the Doom, the Velaryons landed on Driftmark, the largest island in the Blackwater Bay. The island was named Driftmark because the tides would bring driftwood to its shores each day, and the Velaryons' ancient high seat, the Driftwood Throne, was located there. The Velaryons of Driftmark were never dragon riders themselves, and while this isn't explained in George R.R. Martin's A Song of Ice and Fire novels or Fire and Blood, it may simply be because they were unable to cast spells to bring these creatures into their thrall. The encyclopedia states about the Dragon's lords. Leadership of the Valyrian freehold was contested by 20 noble families who normally gathered in Valyria, although it is unknown if all 40 houses controlled dragons. Strong in sorcery, the dragon lords of old are said to have used binding spells and horns to control their dragons, and they used dragon flame to reshape stone into decorative shapes. Some scholars have written that the dragon lords considered themselves more powerful than gods. Presumably, the Velaryons didn't possess the magic or dragon horns needed to bond with dragons in the first place and focused their endeavors on the sea. However, the Velaryons were close allies to House Targaryen, with the head of the family known as Lord of the Tides and Master of Driftmark. The Velaryons were sworn to Dragonstone, which neighbored Driftmark. Much like the Sea Snake, the Velaryons had a taste for the high seas at a young age by serving as masters of ships and Lord Admiral on vessels. House Velaryon also provided more of the royal fleet to Westeros and for 2 centuries had an influential position among the Targaryen kings. The Sea Snake was known to love traveling to distant climes, and through his adventures he accumulated much wealth, making them even wealthier than the Lannisters and the Hightowers during this period. Ser Corlys even ventured to the likes of Yeti, bringing back spices and silks as well as other treasures. The Targaryens, Velaryons and the Selitgers of Clail are some of the only remaining families of Valyrian descent to have escaped the Doom. All the other Dragon Lord families perished in the Doom, a catastrophic and mysterious natural event which saw numerous volcanoes exploding and earthquakes occurring all over the region and killing everything. The Velaryons do still exist in Game of Thrones and support Stannis Baratheon, Stephen Delane, in his claim for the Iron Throne. House of the Dragon saw the tensions erupting between Viserys and the Velaryons after the king snubbed their daughter Lena in favor of Alicent Hightower, Emma Carey. After this falling out, the Sea Snake decided to ally himself with Daemon Targaryen, Matt Smith, as the pair waged war on Krog Hustihar, Daniel Scott Smith. Kroghus was also known as the Crab Feeder after the Mirish prince put 100 pirates on the Stepstones to death by nailing them to posts on the tide and leaving them for the crabs to feast on. The War of the Stepstones will be continuing as House of the Dragon goes on as Daemon and Ser Corlys battle for this petty kingdom to sate their need for power. Although Rhaenys and Ser Corlys may have lost this round of getting their children wed into power, they are unlikely to give up and may soon set their sights on the heir apparent Rhaenyra, Millie Alcock. The couple has 2 children, daughter Lena and son Laenor, the Onate, who could be a good match for Rhaenyra when the time comes for her to marry and sire children. House of the Dragon airs on HBO on Sundays and Sky Atlantic on Mondays and streams on Now.